Suppose a fact that's a little bit off the record today. This is probably, my first time recording before 1 o'clock in like months, I want to say. Probably like 3-4 months. So the more you know, I usually record between like 1 and 3, and then that kind of works out. I go have lunch afterwards while it's rendering. It's just this nice little routine. Anyways, speaking of nice little routines, what's up, guys? I got Wednesday's game for you. It's against a guy by the name of KobraTail. And it was a pretty good match, if I say so myself. Nothing really too out of the ordinary about it. So we'll just go ahead and play it back right now. Alright, now, I brought some things out of the box. I was like, Keytrain, Skyrim, we'll just bring some other shit, why not? And then it looks like he's brought himself some sort of makeshift rain team. It looks like he's brought Polytoad, 3 water types. I mean, if I had something like, say, a Choice Scarf Zapdos, that would... I'm sorry, I can never, every fucking take I've done in this video, never been able to say that seriously, because I had a friend that got swept by one of those. I'm looking at you, Cap. But, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into this, because that was funny. That was funny to me. Anyways, he's going to lead with Cafagrius. I'm actually going to go ahead and lead off with Main Shower. I can't fake out this thing or anything like that. I'm just going to go ahead and go for the U-turn and go right into Heatran, actually predicting the Will-O-Wisp, because I figured, hey, that's a fine and dandy opportunity to get my Stealth Rock set up. And if I did end up predicting that correctly, I would get the Flash Fire, and I'd be able to fire off a Fire Blast, on anything other than Polytoad. That would be fantastic. The main thing would probably be just to scare this thing out so I have an opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks. And, if he thinks I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, fine. But the thing is he does walk into that perfectly, gives me the good opportunity, and then this initial portion of the match, I don't know why it's so slow to me. I guess it's just because I just explained what I'm going to do, and then that's it. I'm just kind of like floundering around for a bit. But he goes for the Haze. I'm thinking to get rid of the... Well, I know it's probably to get rid of the Flash Fire, but I don't know whether or not it actually gets rid of it, as you're going to see on, like, this next turn. I still do a really decent amount of damage to the Polytoad that comes in. But... And that's even with the Drizzle and, the decent Spec D and everything. It's like, maybe it didn't get rid of it. I don't know. But I already got my Stealth Rocks up. That was really the only move I had to do. If he was going to stay in, fine, let him do that. But I expected less from that. So, I don't know what kind of build of Polytoad that is. Maybe I was expecting a bulkier build, because I've seen Fire Blast do way less in the rain. But... however the case may be, I'm not actually going to stay in at all. The best thing I can probably do is go out to Hydreigon and scare it off with a Draco Meteor or anything like that. I don't really want anything else on my team getting burned. I don't want Heatran taking a hit. I don't want Skarm taking a hit. Hydreigon, I believe, is my one water resist, but surprisingly, I don't really have a lot of trouble with the rest of his team. So, he goes into Scizor to resist the predicted Draco Meteor, and this is fucking sick, let me tell you guys. So, after the Stealth Rocks damage, that's an OHKO. I don't know if Stealth Rocks actually did play a factor into that. That's not a crit, that's nothing, that's just a Specs Hydreigon against a probably not specially defensive in the least Scizor. But that was kind of cool to me, and I figured that was just a good talking point. I'll have to ask him about the EVs on that, but that didn't really work out too well for him. In comes Starmie. I was kind of convinced that I could live this hit, and even Life Orb, it might have taken me out. It would have at least told me what item he was, but I don't see Recoil or anything like that, and it still took me out anyway, and I'm like, Hydreigon is not that fragile. So, I'm convinced that he Specs, which is why I go into Scizor now, and I'm thinking, if he's going to be locked in on Ice Beam, he'll have to switch. If he stays in, he tries to go for another Ice Beam, he'll get Pursuited anyway. So, Pursuit in both scenarios, he gets Attack Boosted Pursuit or Switch Boosted Pursuit. Switch was the case in this one, and now I don't have to deal with Starmie. Potential Spec shenanigans in the rain with Thunder and, Surf and things like that. So all I got to do is an Ice Beam, take out my Hydreigon, but I got other things. It's no big deal. So, right here, this is kind of a weird thing. You're probably wondering, why didn't I go out to Heatran? And to be honest, I kind of am too. But in the next couple of turns, it's kind of evident as to why I do this, because it gives me an opportunity to set up the spikes. Since now that my Hydreigon is gone, I'm going to need some residual damage to get the kills that I need to. So that's what I try to do. I try to go for the one layer of spikes. And I think I try to go for a second one here, completely unsure as to who's faster. I don't know in this scenario, but right now I do see the leftovers on me go before him. So if he does happen to be that weird build of Brungaro, why did I say Brungaro? Game's been out for a fucking long time. Jellicent. Anyways, I know I can go safely for one more layer of spikes, and to be honest, he doesn't have any spinners, so the more layers I can get up, the sooner the better. That's how it works with entry hazards and teams that don't have spinners. So, I got 2 up right now. I really don't have any business staying in, especially because he's taunted me, and seeing as how I can't go for the Roost, the Spikes, or the Whirlwind, I can only go for the Burn Brave Bird. That's really stupid, especially if he gets the Curse Body. Means I will end up struggling. So, I think I ended up going out to Heatran as fodder, so I could go into maybe Staraptor on the next turn. I really couldn't tell you, but this turned out to be a double switch. kind of worked out, but not really. It just got me out of a bad scenario and into an awkward one, I guess. Like, I don't really know what I'm wanting to do in the match right now. I guess I just decided to switch out to Skarm just to take whatever it wants to do. Like, I didn't really know what Cofagrius was going to do. So I figured I might as well switch in and get that last layer of spikes up, if it's at all possible, since I'm not taunted anymore. It turns out he goes for the Hex, which really doesn't do a lot. This isn't a special defensive Skarm, this is just a fucking resist. So, I've seen Will-O-Wisp, I've seen Hex, I have seen... I think I might have seen a third move somewhere along the way. It was Will-O-Wisp, Hex, Haze, we saw Haze. I'm thinking the fourth move might be Pain Split, because I'm not really seeing any reliable recovery. I see lefties as opposed to, you know, no lefties with Chester or anything like that, so probably Pain Split for the fourth move. But, I'm going to go ahead and roost on the switch. I think that was the doorbell? That's interesting. Okay, I'm not really expecting anything, but in comes Politoed. As I get those up, as you can see, it's taking Stealth Rocks, 3 layers of spikes up the ass, and actually now I go for the 3rd layer of spikes. So that was 2 layers, and now it's 3. But he tries to trap me in with Encore. Now, if I didn't have any layers of spikes up, I wouldn't mind doing this. I really wouldn't, like just staying in here being trapped in on spikes. But I already have all 3 up. It's just stupid to be doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here anyways, and then I should have gone to Heat Train right now. You know, just to let it die, because he knows he's free to scald anything on my team now that Hydreigon is dead. But for some stupid reason, I go out in a main Shao, and I'm like, alright, you know, I should be able to take a rain-boosted scald. No, I won't. No, that was really stupid. Definitely should have gone into Heatran. That was dead weight in that scenario. But it does kind of open up the floodgates, so to speak, for something else to come. And since I do have the safe switch, there's a little bit of damage on Politoed. What I can do right now is I can go into Scizor, and I thought I was going to be faster than it, truthfully, but it turns out to be a more offensive build, offensive with Scald, whatever, I don't know. It's not defensive, or maybe I'm just, like, mixed up on base speeds or something like that. I thought I would be faster, and I'm not. I thankfully don't get burned, which is cool, and I get off a really nice chunk with the U-turn, and I get to send in my Staraptor. And Staraptor, let me tell you, Staraptor is going to ruin people's days, booty holes, fuck up your schedule, anything you want to call it. You know, he's just going to ruin everything in your path. So, anything that wants to switch in is going to take, you know, Stealth Rock, Spikes. Since Politoed switched out, that means it will now die to entry hazards, which if you're seeing how much it does to Jellicent, it's definitely going to do that much to Politoed. You know, there's no typing differences, major ones, or anything like that, that would impact Stealth Rocks. Point is, 3 layers of Spikes is going to hurt. Do get a crit here. Not really sure how vital that was, to be honest, but he does get the Cursed Body, and while that is not really vital to the rest of the game, it will annoy me in the upcoming turns, as you'll see. But for now, he's going to go into Politoed, I guess, forgetting about the spikes or something like that. He probably could have saved that in the back of his party, just in case it came down to, like, 2 versus 1, you know, my 1 versus his 2, and then, you know, score purposes, I guess. But that really doesn't serve any purpose at all. Stealth Rock's going to take, you know, a quarter of Cloyster's HP off. Spike's going to take another quarter. I'm pretty sure I can take out a Cloyster from 50%, and I haven't gone for close combat yet anyways, so my defenses aren't probably lowered to the point where an Ice Shard would take me out, maybe. But do take it out, and that's cool. You know, Staraptor's taking out the, what is it, the Jellicent, the, well, technically the Politoed. Nah, that was probably Skarm's doing. Anyway, 2 for 2, and this is where Cursed Body comes into play. I don't have anything to touch Cofagrius with, so what I gotta do, I gotta go out of here. Something's gonna get burned, and that really sucks. But it's gonna be Scizor. I figure I might as well, whatever. So, Scizor's burned, but I can still go for 1 tech boosted Pursuit before my ability becomes Mummy. I'm just going to let this thing die because I figure at this range, a Brave Bird will be able to take it out. And it's not like Pursuit is not going to be doing less than his lefties is gaining him. It's actually doing a pretty respectable chunk. So, there's 1 good tech boosted burned Pursuit, I guess. And he's just going to go for the Hex, which takes me out, you know, resisted hit, but it is boosted by the fact that I have a status condition. So, there you go. And it was also a crit. I don't know if that mattered. I really don't care, because that lets me get a safe switch into Staraptor. And that will actually close off the game. I believe this is probably the last turn. So, Brave Bird for the win! Fizzy, you'd be proud. Anyways, if you enjoyed this game, you're welcome to leave a like rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. That should probably just end up doing it for today. I don't really have much to talk about. I was like, you know what? This is a nice, good game for Wednesday. I think you guys will like it, and I hope you did. So, got some TCGO coming up after this. Was that the doorbell again? Or am I just being crazy? Nah, I don't know. I don't know what that was. I'll probably go check it out in a bit. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow.